How's it going, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk to you about my living experience in Morocco so far and how it can be great for you, particularly if you are a digital nomad like myself. So I traveled Morocco 9 years ago, as I mentioned in my video where I talk about travel in Morocco. And I have to say, even though I really enjoyed my experience, it was a bit of a mixed bag at times because I didn't really prepare myself for like how much haggling or how much hassling would have been involved. Maybe it was me being on the naive side because I was a less experienced traveler at the time. Possibly that's what it was. But yeah, it was a really amazing experience, but also quite tiring as well, admittedly. But having said that, though, the positives that came out of it, I ended up talking about those stories more than in other countries, so there had to be a reason for that, right? And yeah, you get some really, really great experiences here with many different activities, as well as experiencing like the North African culture. So yeah, it's highly recommended for that alone, particularly given that, it's easy to get to from Europe, but more on that a little bit later. So how did I end up living here? Well, last year I came back for another visit. I'd already visited 3 times prior to that. But I thought, well, it might be a good option to live here because I'm sure it wouldn't cost an arm and a leg to live in an apartment. And then I found out a really good deal here in this current apartment that I'm at right now. And, thank you guys who I live with right now. You know who you are, and you're welcome for me saying that. But yeah, living with 2 other people in this great apartment, there's so much room here and so much space, and the fact that it's so just over a couple of €100 a month, including bills, it feels like a bit of a steal, to be honest. So yeah, that's definitely got it off to a good start. But also, the other great thing about living here as well is that it's very well. Tamraght, to be precise. This is the town that I'm living in right now. It's going to be different in different areas that you're living in. Like if you're living by the desert, it's going to be totally different here. If you live in by the mountains, it's going to be totally different compared to here. But based on my experience, it's a very, very nice country to live in. Like I've met some very, very friendly locals here who I've already become pretty good friends with. And also there's a nice international community here as well. So you can meet internationals easily. And it's a good balance between the two, I think, particularly if you are, coming here solo in the beginning. But I mentioned about the rent and the bills being very affordable, but also the cost of living in general. It's really, really good. Like I normally like to cook a lot. I pretty much cook all the time when I'm in like a Northern European country, for example. But having said that, I feel quite okay with eating out a high percentage of the time here because the costs are very, very affordable. And I really, really enjoy Moroccan food like tagines and couscous, for example. So that definitely helps, and particularly when they're a good price. The other thing that I love about living here is, I had a really, really cool new experience a couple of weeks ago where I went to the Sahara Desert. And yes, of course, you can do the Sahara Desert on just like a casual traveling trip or holiday if you get over here. But the fact that I could just decide just like that on to go, whether or not to go. Yeah, I think that was something that I never really felt I could take for granted, because how often do you get to say, oh yeah, I'll go to the desert in just a few days, okay, complete. I'm not saying it was out of the blue, but you could easily do close to a last minute decision to do a trip like that. And it was an unforgettable experience, which I highly recommend if you get over to Morocco. So I mentioned before that the flies are here. I mentioned before that I'm a digital nomad. And it's a really great country for that. So basically how it works is, I'm a UK citizen, but I think it's the same for other Europeans and also people from North America or people from Oceania, for example, or Latin America and the other African countries and Asian countries. But yeah, I think you basically get 3 months free with most countries that you come from. And before filming this, well, actually I was intending on making this video before I did my visa run in Tenerife a few days ago, but I wanted to make sure that I got it back into the country through border control with, no hassle or anything like that. And thankfully that was the case. So you don't need to worry about re-entering the country after your 3 months are up, because as long as you're outside of the country for at least 24 hours, then it's fine. They didn't really care when I came back in. There were no question marks or anything like that, so it was fine. So no worries there. So yeah, and like I said, I mean, I'm being a digital nomad here, and the fact that I get to pick my own hours is great, and I've found a pretty good balance between having a lifestyle where it's nicely 50-50 between working, but also making sure that I get to do activities that I enjoy, like surfing and photography. Oh, speaking of which, that's another thing that I could mention. I mean, obviously it depends what field you're into, but another benefit for me since I've been living here is that I've been able to make a start on earning some money with surf photography and surf videos. And I'm sure, like any of you guys who are, like advanced surfers, or not even advanced, like maybe in like high intermediate surfers, it would be very, very easy for you, I think, to be a surf instructor if that's what you were aiming to do. Or I think it'd be easy for you to be a yoga instructor if that's what you're aiming to do as well. So there's always those options. And yeah, I think one of the biggest benefits though is that when you live in here, you're living in an exotic environment, but at the same time you're only a short and cheap flight away from Europe, and you could pop in as many times as you want. So I think that alone gives a very, very strong argument to live in here if that's what you decide to do. I'm not saying that this is going to be a permanent place for me to live, but yeah, I think I'll comfortably live here for the rest of the year without hesitation, and I know that I'll definitely be okay with that. So there you have it, guys. Morocco, really, really great country to live in. Very, very affordable, great culture to experience. Bureaucratically it's fine as well. You get so much accessibility to a lot of other countries that are either in Africa or in Europe. And yeah, a lot of activities to do as well, and lots of places that you can travel to where you don't really have to travel too far, and it won't cost you that much to do it either. So yeah, guys, I mean, if you're looking to live in like a place, like a cool part of the world, and you have the luxury of picking and choosing where you want to go, then I would strongly consider Morocco to be in your options list, or at least to give it a try anyway. And of course, if it's not for you, then you could easily move on. But I just thought I'd make this video, and yeah, guys, thanks once again for watching. Before I go though, I just want to say that I've started a new Instagram account, and I mentioned earlier that I've started doing surf videos and videography. So if any of you are in Morocco, and you're interested in doing some sessions, or you might know people who are interested in doing some sessions, then please contact me on one of my Instagrams, which is Tim Leishan Photos, and then yeah, see if we can go from there. But thanks again for watching, guys. Really, really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video.